Hi, everyone. My name is Susan Tang. I'm the founder of Behold. We're one of the makers here at the 3D Printer Village. And what I will do is show you our launch video. We just launched end of July. We were founded in April. And so we're a very new company. Audio. Oh, we need to hook up the audio.
Plug it in.
Behold, company, and Susan. Okay. Hi, I'm Susan, and I'm the founder of a new company called Behold. I graduated from MIT and Stanford and spent most of my career in product marketing at Google. 3D printing is going to change our future. Up until now, we have been in an industrial age of consumer products, where our products are largely manufactured overseas. Product cycle times can be up to 6 months. Access to manufacturing has been available only to large companies and those with enough capital. And large minimum orders create inefficiencies and thus waste in the process. When a breakthrough technology happens, and here the breakthrough technology is 3D printing, we can start to shift to a modern, more adaptive age. For the consumer, this means better, more innovative products, a new world of independent designers and brands, more manufacturing at home, and less waste for our planet. We are entering a new era of what we like to call responsive product design, where from concept to production, there are only a few simple steps. And iteration can happen much more quickly with direct feedback from consumers. We invite you to join us in building this new industry. With experience across creative, manufacturing, and engineering, we bring you Behold. 1 second. Okay. And so I wanted to just mention that my background is from Google. And as most of you know, Google has a early and often approach to developing products. From my 7 years there in product marketing, I've been fully immersed in this methodology of creating products, and I really do believe in it. And so the idea behind it is that you don't wait for something to be perfect before you launch it. You get lots and lots of user feedback. The way Google will do things is take things through phases, alpha, beta, and some products stay in beta for many, many years before becoming final. And so we're taking the same approach with our products because 3D printing allows us to do so. Another thing I wanted to note is that the reason I put lots of the more fun doodle logos on here is that if you think about it from another perspective, Google has, it allows their users and the employees to, it involves them and allows them to embrace the brand more. And so as you can see, so the doodle in the upper right, for example, is the 125th anniversary of the largest snowflake. You know, something that, yeah, I guess is worth, it's great that they celebrate it. So this chart, what it shows is the difference in the timeline, the launch timeline for a small new company like ours, if we had gone the traditional manufacturing route, compared with how we're doing it now with 3D. And so the difference is 9 months versus what our actual time frame was, which was 3 months. So let me just walk you through a traditional process. We have your concept phase and the prototype phase. Those two stay about the same. And then, of course, if you're doing traditional, you will need some kind of crowdfunding or fundraising, Kickstarter. And then once you've done that, it takes about 2 months, let's say. and you'll need to go and put these into production. The factories in China and other countries are not sitting there idle waiting for your order, so you have to be put into queue, you have to find the right suppliers, negotiate with them, and after you've placed your order, it goes into production and then shipping over here. And then the next phase would be inventory. So once it arrives, you have tens of thousands of items to deal with. And it's not insignificant because you will have to either find a fulfillment company or do this inventory management and fulfillment yourself. So you'll need space, you'll need staff, management, and you'll need to make sure that you can do this. And so it's going to take more time. I've put about a month and a half for that. 3D printing, however, you can have the concept, you can go through your prototype phase, and we do a hybrid model, so I have a little bit of a space there for inventory because we want to make sure that when you place an order, you can get it right away like a normal shopping experience and not wait for it to be made. But it's within manageable limits. And so I've added that there, but you may not even need that. You can just put it up on one of the marketplaces now and have the products ready. And so you can see a huge difference, 9 months, 3 months. So we were founded in April, and we launched end of July. And this is what 3D printing allows you to do. And so we are going to be passing around our final product so that you can take a look. And we're also going to be passing around, if you would like to sign up for updates from us. This slide shows one of our products, which leverages the ceramic material. I believe a lot of you may not know ceramic is available for 3D printing now. And it's really exciting because it's a final product. It's something that feels and great in your hands, and you can use it. And so what we do at Behold is we're always challenging what can we do, what's the limit of what we can do with what's available now, and make it functional and do beautiful design at the same time. And so this slide, it shows you that we went through 35 different versions of the cup before arriving at the final. And you can see the progress here, of all the things, the crazy things we experimented in. Then we got a little bit more, fine-tuning, then we went a little crazy again, and then arriving at the final product. What this cup is, it is a double-walled insulated espresso cup. And so you do not see this concept in ceramics. You've seen this in glass, those Bodum cups, but you have not seen this in ceramics because it's just not very common, and it takes many extra steps to do this through the traditional process. So we've tested this, and you will see when you feel it. The point I want to make about this kind of rapid prototyping is that what you can do with 3D, you cannot do with traditional. So one area is with precise changes. If you want to change little things, but you're there making the prototype yourself, it's very difficult to make those precise changes. Another area is that every time you want, especially for ceramics, if you need to build a prototype, you need to do that from scratch. You can't go and tweak it like you might with some other kinds of materials. And then the final point that that really the beauty of this is that when you are 3D printing something, you just have to change the file, and a machine makes it. So then it frees up all that extra time for you to go then and spend on more ideas or on improving the process. And so it really helps automate the making process so that you can then go and create even better products. So I think that has been really powerful for us. So you'll see here the final product. We're offering it in 3 different colors. And so in addition to, I just wanted to make a note that in addition to having hot liquid inside where you wouldn't feel it on the outside, you can also put ice cream on the inside, and then you wouldn't be melting it with your hands as well. So for thousands of years, we've been solving this problem by adding a handle to it and making it into a mug. And now you'll see that you don't have to do that anymore. These are we've been able to launch with 5 different products. One of them is a combo of 2 of the different products. And so I'll just do a quick walkthrough of what each of these are. The bottom left is a hook. What it is a very modern shaped hook. It is very lightweight and made of nylon plastic. And it holds up we've been testing this and trying to break them in our workshop, and it really holds up to more than 20 pounds. And so there's nothing like this on the market, and let me see. If you take a look at it as it's being passed around, you'll see that we've hollowed out the interior and added strength and ribbed it so that it's an engineering design to make sure it's strong and will hold anything off of the edge of a surface, such as wet umbrellas or your bags or helmets, and it's really good for city living. The two products on the right are both earphone cord organizers. From doing market research, we realized that people have an tangled earphones problem, and we have two different concepts to solve it. So we just ran with both of them. Like a comment about the one on the lower right. It is a concave shape. So what that means is it is uniquely done through 3D printing. You cannot make this through traditional molds because you wouldn't be able to pull the mold out of it. And so, in addition to this uniqueness, it is also a functional, because when you wrap the cord inside, it's hugging the cords and protecting it without you needing to do any hard fastening. Another point I wanted to make about why traditional and why traditional is holding back, I believe, the consumer product design process is in the area of innovation. So the relationship really with the manufacturers in China and in Vietnam and all these other developing countries and the vendors here is a sales relationship. And so they will work with you to a certain extent, but they will only give you things that they believe will work in the market because of this long process back and forth and the large minimum orders, the investment you have to put in. You really have to, most of them do not want to take a big risk. So that really holds back innovative product design. I think in order to do innovative product design, you have to be willing to take the risk. You have to, be willing to fail. That's part of it. And so with 3D printing, the costs of failure are not that high. You just make a model, you print it out. If it doesn't work out, you change the model. And that, to date, has not been possible. And the analogy I always draw with 3D printing and manufacturing is really to the software industry and what happened when the internet came along. So back then, we had really heavy software releases, annual, biannual releases. We would wait. The companies would bundle all the features into one release, put it on a CD, and you take the CD and install. And that was the pace. So all of the changes happened, let's say every 6 months. And so when the internet happened, what starts to really, you can just have real-time updates now. It started to speed up every 3 months, every 2 months, and weekly. And it's really real-time. Whenever a bug needs to be fixed or whenever there's a feature to be improved, it can be done real time. And so that created an entire new world of independent developers, and more people can access it, as well as more innovation in the software marketplace. So with 3D printing, it's the same thing. We don't have to wait for 6 months or a year anymore for new things to come out, because the company needs to manage their inventory, make sure they sell out of the old one before the new one comes out. It's going to happen much more rapidly. And that's what we're calling responsive product design. And to include you in this process, we're happy to announce at Maker Faire a new program called Behold Labs, which if you sign up, we would send you prototypes in the mail for free and ask you to test it, play with it, and send us your feedback. We've been doing this to date at our office in Soho with inviting friends or anyone who's interested to come and test, but we put together the program in order to roll it out to more people. And so, come by our booth and play with our prototypes. You'll see all of the new products in development there that need testing and need your feedback. This is a chance that you can influence the designs. We really believe in real usability testing. And so, come by and talk to us. And if you have any questions, I'll open up for a Q&A now. I prepared a 15-minute talk, so. It's right there. You can see it. It's in front of the Blockify one. Yes.
What's the startup cost for a company like this from an equipment standpoint, and do you have venture capital backing?
So we're bootstrapped, and we want to learn more and get started this way. It's really not that high. Now with the desktop, we just use a desktop 3D printer to do the prototypes, and when we're ready for the final, we'll outsource that and have that done through SLS printing because it's a much better quality. And so I would say just a few thousand, and you can get started. Yes.
Do you think in the near future a company would just be able to have like their products like on the web and you can just download it on the 3D printer that you have in your house?
Can you say your question again so I understand?
Do you think if a company like in the near future would be able to just have their product online, you would pay for it and it would download onto a 3D printer you have in your
Yes.
house?
Okay. The question was whether in the future companies will just have files of their products and then you'll be able to download it. So this goes into DRM. And what it is right now the files they do not have digital rights protection. And so it's such a new industry that still needs to be worked on. We've gone through this with the music industry. And so people are trying to learn from it so that we can skip ahead and manage this better. I believe that yes, that will happen one day because people will have desktop printers and they'll want to be able to access the digital files. We're just not quite there yet because the digital rights management is not there. And then there's also a difference in quality. If you print something, only some things you might want to print at home and have it actually be useful. And other things you'll still want it done with very high quality printers, which are pretty costly. Yes?
What's the turnaround time for getting a large order of products printed once you come up with finalized design?
So the question was, what's the turnaround time for products to come back to you once you have the file?
Quality of products.
And the quality of the products? The volume. Oh, okay. Well, that goes into how long it takes to print each thing, which is, for something around like this size, it's anywhere from 1 to a few hours. And in terms of, you get into the queue and you get it done, it can take a few weeks. And so, but if you have a very large order, then, it might take more time. Mm-hmm.
How have you overcome that?
You have to take it in-house and do that yourself. You have to be committed to that prototype process because you will go back and forth with manufacturing. And, I would say they probably have patience for about 3 cycles with you because if they realize that you're going to take much longer, they will go somewhere else and find another customer to buy their products. So you need to pretty much approach them with an almost final product.
Has that been a challenge for you as like a new company?
I do have experience in the past. That's what brought me to 3D printing as well with traditional manufacturing. My family does shoe imports, and so I've worked with Chinese manufacturing. And in terms of finding them, it is, you have existing relationships and those are, managed from there. In terms of finding new ones, that's always difficult. It's always difficult. You have to build a whole new relationship. You have to test out an order before you know their quality. And you have to see whether they can deliver things on time. And, for Behold, we've really done everything through 3D printing. We haven't really, I believe that's something we could consider later if it's at the large bulk order, because then it's economies of scale. But right now, just starting out, I think we love the speed of 3D printing. And we want to see 3D printing succeed. We want the technology to get more accessible. We want the machines to get faster, better, but less expensive. And so we're doing this to invest in 3D printing. Yes?
Like a company like yourself, how long do you take today's desktop printers and view that as a lifespan in a company for yourself? Maybe not for a home user, but where you're using these printers to manufacture. Do you think you'll be replacing today's printer in 2 years, in 6 months? How fast these are evolving, but
really fast.
Yeah.
So the question is, what is the lifespan of the desktop 3D printer in terms of both how when they're getting better and I need a better one, and also like, are you talking about how functional they will stay? Like, will they break down? Is that the question?
I may get one that could last me 5 years, but for
Right.
a company that's using them and relying on them,
Yeah.
what's the lifespan that you're, talking about the buzz around the office?
Yeah, I am quickly realizing we need to get, it's shorter than I originally thought. So I think every few months we will be getting new ones. It's both because, as you can see, there's this explosion of innovation and in the 3D printing space, and there's so many printers. I was at Maker Faire in California in May, and you just look down the line, it's endless 3D printers. I've never seen this before. This is the year that it's like exploded exponentially, and it's become a little more mainstream. People know what it is and are interested in it. And so I would say every few months, because they're just improving so much, and it's going to its investment back into the company. It's also because there are different materials that are available with different printers. So there's the FDM ones that are, they're pretty good. You see them all over, but sometimes they will fail and they break down, and you have to like spend all the time maintaining them. And so it's always also good to have other ones to rely on. And then there's resin printers as well. It's good to have multiple ones to check, because every product we design to that product, and so it may be that we need to evaluate a different aspect of it and use a different material. Okay. I think maybe we have time for one more question. Yes.
Do you only work with the designs that you make, or for example, if I have a design and I want the prototype, I can send you the file and you print it for me?
Yeah, so we are very open to working with a community of designers. At launch, since we've only been around for 5 months, we have done all of our designs in-house to date, but we're just starting out, and so we're happy to talk to you. Feel free to talk to me after. Okay, thanks so much for coming to the talk.